Hey, what's up? Steven Universe ended a year ago on March 27th, and I am so excited to talk about it. I'm the Cartoon-theorist YT. In this video, I explain how Steven Universe has been tricking you about how it's never going to return. I will tell you about the clues and nods the Steven Universe crew has made towards its possible return, plot, importance, and more. When Steven Universe Future ended, fans of the show were left with questions, even though this was literally a epilogue miniseries meant to tie up everything. The real question fans should be asking is, what if it was something meant to tie up Steven Universe's loose ends, yet create more to set up something very important? A Steven Universe second movie. Not just that, but a prequel of all things. After all, if we were able to get an epilogue, why wouldn't we get a prequel second movie of the Steven Universe franchise? I mean, think about it. Steven Universe the movie was a hit. The highest premiere on Cartoon Network in 2 years when it debuted. Yeah, let that sink in, people. Let that sink in. It still sometimes gets reran on television. But before we talk about Steven Universe, be sure to enter my universe by subscribing to the channel. With that said, let's start the show. Steven Universe was a revolutionary show that introduced us to Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, and Steven. Steven was the main character of the show. Steven was created after the sacrifice of his mother, Rose Quartz. You see, Rose Quartz was a part of the gem race. Pearl was Rose Quartz's maid, slave, Google speaker. It was never clear. Pearl for many years kept the secret from Steven that Rose Quartz was actually a diamond, one of the 4 diamonds that lead Gemkind. Gemkind is an alien race that comes from the planet Homeworld, though not all gems are created on Homeworld. Some gems, like Jasper, an antagonist in Steven Universe, were made on Earth. Another one of these gems created on Earth is Amethyst. She was created in the kindergarten several hundreds or maybe thousands of years later. Let me know in the comments down below when you think Amethyst was quote-unquote born. I say this because gems don't start out as children, but pop out of the ground as adults. Now, how were the gems created, you ask? The gems were created with the use of injectors, which we saw in the Steven Universe movie. Now, on to the clues for a possible second movie of Steven Universe. Back in 2019, Cartoon Network used a specific wording for the Steven Universe movie. It even made its way to the official TV website. The words hinted this was not the only SU movie we'd get. It said, and his first musical TV movie, Steven Universe thinks his time of defending the Earth is over. But when a new gem comes to Beach City seeking revenge, Steven faces his biggest challenge yet. They say it's the first movie, implying there will be more. Now, I know most of you are gonna say that in an email to Polygon, Rebecca said, there is no official continuation in development at this time. So of course, there's not going to be any continuation, right? Recently, Cartoon Network has launched a series of online anti-racism PSAs featuring characters from Steven Universe. Now, be warned, what I'm about to propose might sound crazy, so hear me out. These PSAs are about black representation, importance, and recognition. For example, the first PSA starred Garnet talking about white people and black people getting together. She was perfect for this because Garnet is a fusion of 2 different gems who weren't supposed to be together but were anyway. In the context of Steven Universe, this all ties into fusion. Fusion between 2 different gems is an ideal homeworld. In the past, viewed as unacceptable and overall disgusting. Such to the point where they'd shatter any gem who practiced it. In Pearl's segment of this four-part PSA, she talks about Black history and how in our education system, books, etc., leave out a lot of history and backstory. This is in the context of Steven Universe, represents gem history and how stories were left out of that. The reason why Pearl is telling the story is because she fought by Rose Quartz's side, and it seems even after Era 2, the gem race aren't including other stories of the war, which is a problem I had for the show. Every gem only follows the new rules because they know they're made by someone who was related to Pink Diamond, who was one of the four rulers of Gemkind. Steven does not really propose a threat to them other than the fact that he's one of the head diamonds. But moving on from my issues, which are forever expanding, and this part in this PSA talks about how making up an imaginary race in the PSA just avoids the real problem of racism in the real world. Now, I could be really jumping to conclusions here, but that's the point of these theory videos, hearing crazy people obsess over children's cartoons. But anyways, this could represent the Sneople.
Oh, that's...
Hear me out. The Sneople was an idea made by the crazy theorist Ronaldo, who was a character in the show, by the way. Onion has been theorized to be an alien not only by the fans, but Steven himself. Onion is the only person in the show, besides his father, Yellowtail, to have ears and speak a language we can't understand. In the episode Marble Madness, Steven tells Peridot about some of the humans on Earth. Steven says, quote, "There's lots of humans. There's my dad, Connie, Lars and Sadie, the mailman, Onion. I think most of Ronaldo's theories have been proven right in the show. For example, Ronaldo predicted that the diamonds were the higher-ups when he saw a diamond on a $1 bill. If Onion is an alien, and if Ronaldo's theory is right, then Onion is a part of the Sneople race. I'll talk about that more later. The Sneople could be the alien race that created the diamonds. The final episode of Steven Universe, not to be confused with Steven Universe Future, Change Your Mind, had White Diamond realize she was wrong about how she was wielding Gemkind, what she was using Gemkind for, and how she was treating everyone. White Diamond proceeds to say, "I'm not supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to know better. I'm supposed to be better. I'm supposed to make everything better." Prior to that, she says, "I can't have a flaw. I'm supposed to be flawless. If I'm not perfect, then who am I?" She consistently says supposed to be, as in, I was created to be. The thing about the diamonds is that they lead Gemkind. But guys, that's their purpose. They were created to take over planets and expand their empire. And the real question about this is, why? Why were they created to expand the empire? Why were they expanding their empire, destroying planets, making more gems? What was their plan if they took over all the planets, killed all other life, made every gem fall in line? So what purpose was it all for? And I have an answer for you. I'll talk about that later. But for now, what is the teaser that tells us that the Sneople could be the ones that created the diamonds? One obvious clue is in the end of an Era book. Through this book, we explore many cut ideas and stories. For example, we learned that there was supposed to be a perfect Steven, but that had to go so they could make Steven Universe Future. At some point going through the pages of this book, you'll find an interesting page with some of the character timelines. All the major gems are accounted for here. The very bottom of the left corner has a square written with the words 20,000 years ago, which could be the longest flashback ever. Honestly, the time stuff in Steven Universe is so confusing, and I am not rewatching Steven Universe just for this one video. But anyways, below this is a sphere cracked in half, which I can only assume to be a planet. Above that, there are 4 diamonds floating in the air. Coincidentally, it is ordered like the Era 1 diamond insignia. But again, we'll touch on that later. The real thing we should be focusing on is the fact that despite the fact that the series is over, the diamond's origins are completely blacked out. This was not done by hand, which could mean this isn't cut material, but in fact, this was done digitally. What I am saying here is, this could be a sign that they are blocking it from readers because they have more ideas for it. This may not be another treasure chest incident. Let's hope that never happens again. MacGuffins suck. All these questions could be answered in a prequel second movie. Now to the main event you've been waiting for, the potential plot of this movie. Wow! So, as I said, there's a load of evidence that the Sneople are real and they created the diamonds. So that's what the movie could be about. I would call it Steven Universe the Movie, Diamond Edition. So, how would you start the movie, you ask? Well, here's my idea. We open up in present time with Steven visiting the diamonds. They talk about how much the Empire has improved, and at some point Steven asks, so, what was the purpose of the Empire? The diamonds then look at each other, and Yellow Diamond says, well, this is going to be a long visit. Blue Diamond says, Pearl, could you draw the story as we go? Pearl says, of course, my diamond. And we start. So, 20,000 years ago, on a planet, base world. Yeah, that's like close to homeworld, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. The alien race of Sneople were preparing their huge rock for when 3 gems would crack from it. Now, I bet you're asking, what do you mean 3 gems? I thought that drawing depicted 4 gems coming out. More importantly, who wouldn't be included in this list? Pink Diamond would not be included on this list. Many fans have theorized Pink Diamond to be a failed red diamond. The Era 1 diamond insignia is the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association symbol, flipped upside down, except the red diamond is pink. Pink Diamond could have been intended to be a red diamond. Think about it, Pink Diamond has some of the powers of the other gems. For example, when Steven unlocks the ability to run super fast in Steven Universe Future, this is an ability we see Yellow Diamond use to shatter Steven, quote-unquote shatter Steven, as back then Yellow thought Steven was Rose Quartz, the supposed murderer of Pink Diamond. So I think either Pink Diamond was a mistake or she was created after Yellow, Blue, and White Diamond. One detail that could help prove this is in the episode Familiar, as Steven sings a song about how much he's like his mother. Pink Diamond. There's a drawing, or maybe it's a picture. The artist could have just been being lazy and decided to scribble there. We will never know. So let's go with this was a photo. In the background is an asteroid flying behind them. There is this pink light following it. Perhaps this asteroid is where Pink Diamond came from. So going back to the story, the rock's cracked, and the 3 diamonds emerge from it. Flash forward, they explain why every diamond was made. First off, all 3 diamonds were made to create gems, or as the Sneople would call it, an army. I think they could have made blue in order to manipulate the gems' emotions. Now, those of you who are fans of Steven Universe are thinking that they created blue to make people cry, and that is completely false. We've seen in Steven Universe Future that Blue Diamond now has the ability to make gems happy, but back in Steven Universe she could only make gems cry. I think she had the ability to influence gems' decisions instead of their emotions. Still confused? Well, let's come up with a scenario. A Peridot, is made fun of their height because they're so short, and they're made fun of by a topaz. The Peridot goes to the diamonds complaining about it and says they are leaving their position. So before the Peridot leaves the room, Blue Diamond zaps them with empathy and joy. So the Peridot now realizes that the reason Topaz did that is because she is made fun of for being so tall. The reason Topaz made fun of Peridot is so everyone would bully the Peridot for being so short. That way, being really tall isn't viewed as a bad thing. So now the Peridot talks to the Topaz, they make up, and the Peridot decides they don't want to leave their position anymore. Yellow diamond, pretty simple, made to poof gems and destroy other aliens. White was supposed to be like the perfect computer, no flaws. Except the thing was she still had emotions. I think the reason she has mind control is because the Sneople wanted to make sure that if the gems rebelled against the diamonds, White Diamond could just easily shut that party down. Remember how I said they got rid of the perfect Steven idea? Well, that was because Steven had to have issues so he could get these super cool / trauma power-ups. The second episode before the end of Steven Universe, I Am My Monster, has Steven, as you guessed, turn into a monster. The monster kind of looks like Godzilla when you see it in its entirety. But if you just look at its head, you'll think it's some sort of snake. It turns out some snakes actually have horns. So I think when Steven became a literal monster, subconsciously, he thought of the Sneople. Now I bet you're asking how he could pull off a form like that. The diamonds don't really shapeshift, and even if they did, I don't think they'd be good at it. And Steven doesn't shapeshift often, as the last time he did it, a bunch of cats he created by shapeshifting started to take over his body. I theorize that when the asteroid landed and a diamond was inside, the diamonds brought it to the Sneople. Then the Sneople used some of their DNA and other stuff and made Pink Diamond. How would this movie end? The movie would end with a revolt against the Sneople. All 4 diamonds would do that because it would turn out the Sneople are just using the diamonds for their evil plan to take over the universe, which is obvious, of course. That in later years would become the Diamonds Plan. Now that I got everything out, the biggest question of all is, would this movie be on HBO Max or cable? I think it would first debut on HBO Max because HBO Max has all the Steven Universe content, including the movie and the sing-along version. Now that says something. So it would be on HBO Max, and maybe a month later, they'd put it on cable. Who knows? The sky is really the limit, guys. And with that said, this has been a really long and hard video to make, so please support me by subscribing, liking, and being sure to turn on your notifications so you can do that as soon as my videos come out. And be sure to comment. I love to hear your thoughts. I hope you have an amazing day. And again, this was a really long video to make, and there will be a part 2 because I dropped a lot of bombs here that do need further explaining. As always, stay tuned.